Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ace Blazer, and I am excited to bring you a naval battle, and this is a bit different, yeah. Now this is not a multiplayer battle, this is actually against the AI, and what I'm actually going to show off here is the typical formation I'd use in a naval battle. So what I've got right here, I'm trying to simulate something you'd find in campaign as it is now. Usually it's going to be a whole lot of raiding, those little tiny little ships, the raiding ships, or transport stack. And I'll try to do what I can to replicate that in custom battle. Unfortunately, I didn't have any from the campaign on hand. So what we've got here is support ships in the front. These are my more heavy support ships, and then I've got a second line of artillery ships who are firing, and then I've got assault ships on the flank. Now, generally what I'm thinking here is I've got the support ships up front because they have a bit more health and they can take the brunt of delaying the enemy. And then obviously artillery, they're kind of like your range units, so you want them in the back. That's pretty cool. And then I figure I have assault ships on the side, because assault ships, you want them to be ramming and that stuff. You need them to have the most maneuverability, because they're a lot smaller ships. Let's see if I can get a better ship here. So yeah, stuff like that. Firepot, Jer, whatever, Tetra is here. And smaller ships need a lot more room to maneuver, and so they can pick up speed and that kind of stuff. So I figure put them on the flanks. Now I think there's some people that say put them as your center and then have your support ships on the sides, which I guess is fine, but I feel like you want your support ships to survive, so you want the strongest ships to survive in the center. So this way, what's happening, if you can see what's happening here, is my artillery ships are targeting any ships that are currently threatening my ships right now. Like for instance, there's nothing really happening at the moment here. I think all the enemy melee ships have died already, to be honest. So it's mostly range ships. So if there's any of my own ships that are in massive danger, I will try to prioritize my targets, and I'll try to show off later where I I try to choose my targets a bit more carefully. Here it's just indiscriminate killing, because artillery ships just kill everything. I'll try to show off the transport ship spam. But yeah, this is pretty much a clear victory here. You can see that what people have complained about is appearing kind of here. Like, this is just a big, huge mob, and there's not really much you can do. I mean, you could try to ram stuff. There's not really a lot of room to do that. You can see the AI is definitely doing it, but yeah, this guy's getting rammed like crazy. But I think the best thing to do is use your artillery ships to their full effect. Have your support ships and your assault ships just act as oh my gosh, act as a delaying line. That's your first line, and then just have your artillery ships blast away. That's really simple as it is. So that's the first formation. There's another formation I'd use when there's a lot of enemy artillery ships, but I'll be going over that in a different video. Now let's bring up the transport ship swarm. The only way I could replicate this was using a melee spam of naval ships, and so these guys are actually going to have better ramming and better maneuverability than transport ships, I think. If anyone wants to correct me on that, they're more than welcome. Alright, so I've got a lot of artillery ships. This is actually typically what I would have in the late game for artillery ships. Well, more like, right now it's 5 ballista ships and 4 onager ships, but actually I think I would probably have 5 ballistas and 3 onagers. Now keep note that there's actually no fire ammo in the campaign battles. I have no idea why. But yeah, this is basically your melee boarding spam. Now the key to this is that the AI is not very smart. We'll see later. We'll show it off. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, you know, when I find these kind of cool. When you see this kind of stuff happening, it reminds me of Ben-Hur. Anyways, my first objective is to go after the general. So the general's dead. That's actually his strongest unit. Next strongest unit here. These things have a lot of health, actually. 1,200 health, and then my artillery ships will have 10,000. Oh, sorry, 1,000. So I have my assault ships and support ships intercept all his own ships, and I'm gonna make it clear here that they're there simply to delay. Again, maybe you might like to put your support ships on the flanks so that they can fire on the enemy. I generally don't think it matters in a melee situation because they're all gonna get run down anyways. Oh, in this battle I forgot to bring my general over, so whoops. But generally, we've already scored a lot of kills. Taken down at least 2 to 3 ships, I'd say. You can see the AI isn't being very smart. It's focusing all on my frontline ships, letting my artillery just blast away. So the AI is not prioritizing correctly, and it just allows my artillery to blast away at them until yeah. So oh, wow, there you go. See, I would be interested in how a human melee spam would work. I think that would probably be overwhelming for me, because all you guys simply gotta do is board the artillery ships, and I'll show some battles where I do that. Actually, I'll show different scenarios that you might encounter, mostly for the campaign. In multiplayer, it's a whole other ball game though. There we go. See, we are just ripping these guys apart. Oosh. And yeah, my guys are actually holding nicely. Not much nicer than I thought they would when I was playing this game. I thought my guys would rout immediately, but they're actually doing quite well.
We understand.
You can see I'm focus firing. Focus firing is the best. You want to take out ships as fast as possible, not cause what do you call? Sorry, damage over time to the whole fleet. You want to take down ships. So finally, remember my general's there. I bring him back into the fight. Let's fast forward a bit because it's just me shooting his guys up. But slowly my front line starts routing, which is fine. I do have a couple of free ships though, my general and this guy who managed to actually win. Big surprise. But okay, what's happening? I sure hope this replay actually works out, because the replay might actually be bugged. Who knows? So far things are working out nicely, I think. There we go. And this guy just disintegrates. Unfortunately, most of the Romans are on my ship here, so can't use that ship anymore. It does take quite a while for boarding actions to finish, which is why when you're boarding, I think you need to make sure you're committed. So there, ramming takes out that ship, and I've got so many artillery ships just ready to take out whatever. The Roman has no chance by now. Yep. Generally, okay, if you hover over the tooltip, it'll actually show you how much damage is there. There, see? 26, so it's on fire and all that. Well, anyways, that's the first bit, dealing with naval formations for naval formations for melee spam, and next videos will show more balanced builds, so I'll see you guys later.